Hello and good evening. I'm Melisa Idris.
I'm Sharaad Kuttan.
Welcome to Consider This, the show where we want you to consider and then reconsider what you know of the news of the day. Tonight on the show, we're going to be focusing on Penang. And joining us, we have the Chief Minister of Penang, Chow Kon Yeow. Welcome to the show, YB. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now I want to begin with some of the headlines of the day. Today, we had headlines of you calling out Datuk Sri Azmin Ali as lazy. Now, I'd like to better understand what made you say something like that. If I may quote you, you said, I want to ask the senior minister what he was expecting as the minister in charge. He was lazy to engage all the state government to reach a consensus on the implementation of the CMCO. Now, Chief Minister, can you help us understand why you opted to use such strong language?
I think the whole objective of restarting the economy, in the view of the senior minister, he would want every state to launch it together on the designated date of 4th of May. But the background was we attended a meeting on the 28th. It was the last Tuesday where we were briefed about the intention to restart the economy. And the Prime Minister was very excited. All the Menteri Besar and Chief Minister did not object to that proposal. But the Prime Minister said, and he held this SOP, it is not ready yet. And it was then that some Menteri Besar and Chief Minister asked for 1 week for the various states to be given time to give their input and to make preparation for the restarting of the economy. And it was agreed that they will complete the SOP by Thursday. We went to meet on Tuesday. By Thursday, 30th of April, they promised to get the SOP ready and probably would send to the various state government for us to give our input and to make the necessary preparation. We didn't know it came so fast. The next morning, the Prime Minister went to announce that 4th of May will be the implementation date. So if the minister in charge wants a consensus from all the states, he should be engaging us. But as I say, it didn't happen. And I use this language to show that he did not even bother to, if he's expecting a consensus, you must work with all of us to get the consensus. But probably, if he's not lazy, probably he was too busy to even talk to the various states to see how we feel, how do we want to implement and make it happen. Yeah.
Chief Minister, I want to ask you if there was any concern about the bringing forward of this timeline. Initially, the 12th of May was seen as the terminal end of the last phase of the MCO. Why the need to bring it forward to the 4th? Were questions asked about that?
Some of us were very puzzled because when we went for the meeting, it was 28, I think was the last day of the MCO for the period. 29 was the beginning for this 5th MCO. And immediately at the beginning of the new MCO, a decision had already been made to launch the restart of the economy with this CMCO instead. So it came very abruptly. Nevertheless, because of the need to restart the economy and the immense economic loss, I think the Menteri Besar and the Chief Minister, despite all this happening, did not really object to restarting the economy because we want to strike a balance between lives, the public health issue, and livelihood, the economic issue. So I think nobody objected, but we asked for time to give our input.
Well, you said a little bit earlier, Chief Minister, that no feedback was collected on how the states, from the states, on how to implement the CMCO and of the SOP. I'm wondering what kind of feedback would you have given if it was solicited?
We adopted a gradual recovery protocol. If we have been given the opportunity, probably what we announced for Penang would be shared with the minister, and he may think it is a template that other states can follow. Who knows? I think we came up with a reasonably well recovery plan, and if it is good enough, minister can consider sharing it with other states, and this is the gradual exit strategy that we should adopt compared to the big bang approach. Oh, I want it on the 5th, everybody has to follow, without considering the capacity and the circumstances in every state.
How able are you to carry out your gradual plan? What I understand from the reports is that many of the restrictions that applied before will continue. How do you do that without the enforcement strength of federal agencies and such? I mean, how can you actually do it without federal help?
I think there is a misconception that we are not abiding with the CMCO. But what we depart is gradually doing it. It is still under the CMCO regime and protocol. And whoever is responsible for enforcement will have to do it. Whether we go with the big bang approach or we phase out certain sector over a period of time.
Okay, well, I'm going to touch on the gradual recovery strategy. So Penang's three-phased strategy. Now there's the preparation phase, the familiarization phase, and the reopening phase. Now, very quickly, can you explain to us what goes into each of the phases? I understand that only certain sectors of the economy will be allowed to open in each of the phase, right? Each of the phase.
Actually, people who accuse us of not abiding actually did not read what we have announced. We say that we will begin on the 4th, which is the date set for the implementation of the CMCO, which is the date fixed. But we took note and took cognizance of the advice of the DG of Health. The first week need not be the week that you open for business, but the first week can be used to plan, to strategize. And I checked with a few developer, contractor, factory owner. How long do you need to prepare for an opening when you have stopped for over 40 days? And they say, depending, they may need a few days to contact their supplier, to check their machines and whatnot, and to set right the protocol for social distancing, getting sanitizers, PPE if it's needed, and all that takes a few days to organize. So we say, yes, we start on the 4th, but not open doors for operations and business, but for preparation work. And on the 8th, after a few days of preparation, from the list, we also follow the list of permissible activities by the federal government. And at our meeting, we went through the list. What are the priority areas that we want to let go first? And of course, manufacturing, construction, retail, which affect a big segment of our economy. All this went ahead first. Whereas on the 13th, we released all the other sector, which we think can wait another few more days. And we also decided that maybe sports, recreational activities, education can hold on for a while.
All right.
Yeah, and also no dine in, which is a great concern for the people.
Very much in line with the federal level CMCO, just a more staggered opening. All right.
Yes.
I'm going to get you to stay on the line. We're going to take a very quick break and we're going to come back and discuss the economy of Penang. So stay tuned to consider this. Thank you for staying with Sharaad and I on Consider This. We're continuing our look at Penang and how it's dealing with the economic fallout from the pandemic. We have Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow on the show with us tonight. Chief Minister, now I just want to touch very quickly before we move on to the economy of Penang. You said before the break that in the meeting that you had with the federal level to discuss the conditional MCO, you said that the Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin was very excited. What was he excited about?
To restart the economy, because over the past, and he said every day we are losing about 2.6 billion ringgit. And if we are to wait longer, then by June we could be losing a few 100 billion ringgit. Okay. So it is important that we restart the economy and also to look after the livelihood of those who do not have income during this period of time. Yes.
Chief Minister, in terms of monitoring the state's own economy, you've mentioned the thousands of SMEs that are there in the state of Penang. Can you give us some sense of the kind of damage that's been done to that sector, and to what extent the Prihatin packages that were announced aided those SMEs in particular?
I think the Penang economy is supported by the twin engine of growth, the manufacturing and the service sector. Not many people realize that the service sector had actually overtaken manufacturing as the biggest contributor to our GDP. Talking about manufacturing, there are many MNCs in Penang, but they are also supported by at least 3,000 SMEs. And even before COVID-19, because of the trade war between the US and China, there had been some issues concerning relocation, supply chain issue, and all that. So with COVID-19, I think luckily during the MCO phase 1, 2, 3, several hundreds of factories were allowed to operate. So we are happy that it happened. At least the impact on the manufacturing sector is not as great as compared to the services sector, in particular the tourism and hotel line, which are greatly impacted, even not confined to the duration of the MCO alone, but 3, 6, 9 months after the lifting of the MCO, because of the fear for traveling and disruption, I think they would face the greatest impact. But over at the manufacturing sector, we hope that last year, I think despite all these COVID-19 issues grooming over our head, we have good news that from MITI announced that Penang attracted 15 billion ringgit of FDI for 2019. And for all this project to take place, it will be in 2020, kick-off, construction, and so on. And this create about 13,000 job opportunity for Penang. And hopefully, if there is any retrenchment, layoff during this period, it can be absorbed by this new job opportunity in the manufacturing sector.
Chief Minister, are those investments still on, to your knowledge, as of today?
We have followed our investor very closely. In fact, even at this time, we got requests for them to help them to start their work and start their piling of the factory so that it will not affect their timeline for production later part of the year or next year when the factories are ready. So this is a sign of confidence of these investors despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay, I want to touch very quickly on the services sector, particularly the hospitality, the hotels. We've heard news of hotels closing down. Just how dependent is the Penang economy on the hospitality sector, and what is the state government doing to help this sector kind of weather the storm?
I think, as I say, manufacturing and service sectors are the two main twin engine of growth, and services sector had already overtaken manufacturing as the largest contributors, and hotel and hospitality forms a great part of the services sector, and hotel is definitely deeply affected, and also tourist attraction places had been closed for the whole duration, and because of the fear, even after MCO is lifted, we envisage that for 3 to 6 months, industrial player in the tourism sector will have to re-strategize. And I've been visiting. I try to visit as many sectors as possible, and the last 2 days I visited the hospitality and tourist attraction players, and luckily for some of them, domestic tourists still forms the majority of their visitors, 80% of the visitors, and foreign tourists forms about 20%. So the strategy moving ahead, if it is lifted, people still want to travel. It is good that we can focus on domestic tourists for the start, and Penang definitely has a very strong position as the destination of choice for local tourists, and we hope that we can pay attention with the various stakeholders to focus on recovering the domestic sector first and then move on to the international sector.
So, you know, Melisa and I are both in a red zone, and there you are in a green zone. Are you happy to have us red zone Malaysians come visit you in your green zone?
I will leave it to the federal government to decide all this. Actually, at the meeting again, the CMCO is supposed to be for the green zone, but we have states, even with red zone, also opening up their economy, like in Selangor and Kuala Lumpur. But I suppose this is the gap and weaknesses of the whole protocol in not addressing, even not announcing that this actually apply to green zone and not to other zone. Yeah.
So can you help us understand that? You mean the original design for the CMCO was only for green zones, and now it's been applied across the nation. What accounts for that?
At the meeting, the Health Ministry presented this called the District Risk Reduction Program, shifting the focus to the district level and also the locality area. So in line with that, it is also shifting the responsibility to the community to work together with the government and to be responsible to keeping the district and locality green. And there is a tagline, attack the red, protect the green. If you are in the green zone, you still have a responsibility to ensure that it remains green and not turn to yellow and then red. And then, of course, concerted effort to attack the red area where you are in, so that you can become orange and then become red. So that was the strategy of the District Risk Reduction Program. And opening up the economy would encourage human interactions and whatnot. So it should start with the green zone where it is safer for the economy to restart. But it is now for the whole country. And I don't think I'm in a position to answer you. Maybe you should ask the senior minister. Asmin Ali, why it is also launched in states which have so many red zone in the various states.
Well, we will try and get those answers for everyone watching. We're going to take a quick break. More with the Minister of Penang, Chow Kon Yeow, on Consider This. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with Consider This. I'm Melisa Idris. With me, Sharaad Kuttan. Let's continue our conversation with YB Chow Kon Yeow, Chief Minister of Penang. Now, as you've mentioned just before the break, Penang has just been declared a green zone. No new cases were reported in all 5 districts in the state. Now, Chief Minister, can you share with us some of the specific efforts that Penang adopted in the fight against COVID to keep the numbers low?
Penang apply the 3C strategy as our responsibility towards the fight against COVID-19. The 3C being control, communication, and contain. First, control the outbreak. I think we know that we have to work very closely with the federal agencies, enforcement agencies, the health department, hospital. And it is, I told the state health director, you would have to be responsible for the public health sector, where you try to contain the spread of the disease, while us in the state government, we will help in the communication aspect, in delivering information to the people, educating the people, and to ensure that the people understand the whole pandemic problem. And the next one is communication. Even before the announcement of MCO, the Penang state government launched the campaign, Penang Lawan COVID-19. And it's where I had the daily live FB to share with the people the information. We did videos, invite doctors to share knowledge. We put up billboards and all that, so that people can get to know what COVID-19 is all about. And finally, to contain the impact. Just now, a question raised earlier, there are many people impacted. How do we help them? I think even before the start of the MCO, I announced 20 million. We do not have great resources here. 20 million to assist those impacted. But after talking to stakeholders, I think we managed to increase it to 75 million. And of course, federal had much greater budget for other incentives. And we hope that Penang people will take advantage of the various relief packages so that they can tide over this difficult period.
Yeah, can we talk about the question of social distancing? Said that in societies with strong social discipline, this works. For other societies, it won't work. How do you rate Penangites in terms of their ability to kind of internalize the lessons that we've learned over the last couple of months about this disease, and also voluntarily do social distancing? Are you confident?
This is one of the biggest challenges here in Penang. You know, Penang is a very closely knitted community. Everybody knows everybody, and they like to lepak in a kopitiam. Ladies would like to meet each other at the market. So with the pandemic, with social distancing, it is a big challenge for us. And then Penang is always highlighted, Aitam Market, Bayam Baru, Jelutong. But they are also good story. In Juru Market, for instance, I visited. Juru market was the first public market in Penang to involve the community in implementing social distancing, lining up to go into the market, only allowing 10, 20 people at one time, hand sanitizers, wearing a face mask. I think this is something that we have to continue to educate, and I believe that after 48 days of MCO, we cannot say we have achieved 100% awareness, but I think by and large, today, if I go out to the streets, I can see that about 90% wear face masks and observe social distancing, and they are aware whether sometimes the location, the premise may not be very suitable, the lift may be very small, so we have to make do with the constraint at the local community area, but the awareness had been there because of the publicity over the past 48 days.
Chief Minister, that's all the time we have on the show tonight. We want to thank you for joining us and for sharing the insights from Penang. Congratulations on achieving green zone. Hopefully, you can keep those numbers down. No more new cases in all 5 districts. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm Melisa Idris. With me, Sharaad Kuttan. We're signing off for this episode. We will be back with you same time tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and good night.